There are some such places on the world's map that got erased with time. But even while getting erased, they left behind something that even today stands as a question. These are those cities which humans settled with their blood and sweat, where once empires stood. Cultures flourished, bloomed, and religion took shape. But then one day everything ended. In these stones is some mystery, some carved sign, and perhaps some such truth that to know it, we will have to descend under the layers of time. Today, we will set out on such a journey where history, myth, and mystery walk together. Number 1. Uber, the last breath of a civilization buried in the sand. Uber, such a name that for centuries was only in tales. A city hidden in the desert of Arabia, which was once called Iram of the Pillars. The City of Pillars, this is the very city whose mention is also found in the Quran, which God sank into the ground because of its arrogance, luxury, and injustice. But was this just a religious tale, or was there really such a place that suddenly merged into the sand? The layers of this mystery started unfolding. In the 1990s decade, when identification of such a path was made in satellite imagery taken by NASA, which was buried under the sand. This was the very ancient trade route that spread from East Africa to Arabia and India. And on this very route, at one point, in the largest sandy desert of Arabia, Rub al-Khali, archaeologists found some mysterious lines that indicated towards a forgotten civilization. When excavations started, then scientists and explorers found their ancient wells, remnants of stones, and signs of a fort. These were signs of that great city Uber, which is believed to have existed 5,000 years ago. Local people call it the Atlantis of the Sands, meaning the Atlantis of the sand. In that era, Uber was an extremely prosperous city. Trade happened from here of frankincense, which was more valuable than gold in the ancient world. Emperors of Egypt, Rome, and Mesopotamia used the frankincense coming from Uber in religious rituals and treatments. This trade filled Uber with wealth, splendor, and power. But perhaps this very splendor rode its downfall. According to legends, Uber became so rich and arrogant that its inhabitants challenged God, and then one day the ground cracked open and the entire city merged into a massive sinkhole. Today, scientists believe that this was not any divine catastrophe, but a geological accident. Wells and water routes used for centuries had hollowed the ground. And then one day, the sand swallowed the entire civilization within itself. The sinkhole found in the search had a depth of more than 40 feet. Around it were remnants of buildings and stone walls. There an ancient water system was also found, which shows that even while living in the desert, the people of Uber had excellent understanding of water management. They had made special wells and underground routes so that potable water remains available throughout the year. But as the population increased and excessive exploitation of water happened, the ground's balance got disturbed, and one day, everything ended. Even today, the excavation of Uber continues. But the biggest mystery is that who settled this city? Where did its inhabitants come from? And did they really adopt such techniques that even today astonish us? Some archaeologists believe that the stone, tools, and style of walls found in the excavation of Uber point towards that this civilization could be connected to the cultures of Mesopotamia and Indus Valley. And the most astonishing thing, stone pillars were also found there, whose mention comes in religious books thousands of years old. Uber even today sleeps in the sand. But the stories revolving around it do not make it just a lost city, but a warning that no matter how advanced the technology, maybe if the balance of nature and soul gets disturbed, then even the greatest civilizations can get buried in the sand. Number 2, Sanchi, the mystery etched in stone of Buddha's eternal legacy. Located on a peaceful hill surrounded by the greenery of Madhya Pradesh is Sanchi. Such a place that is not only the foundation stone of India's Buddhist history, but even today through its stupas and wonderful architecture narrates the echo of the past. But this is not only a religious site. This is a living document that tells us how an idea, a philosophy, can remain alive in stones for centuries. The most prominent and ancient structure here is the Great Stupa, which Emperor Ashoka got built in the 3rd century BCE. The surprising thing is that Buddha himself never visited Sanchi, yet this place became a pilgrimage for his followers. Sanchi's Great Stupa is a massive hemispherical structure surrounded by a circular enclosure. In this enclosure, Grand Tirana gateways are built from 4 directions, which are not only wonderful from the architectural perspective, but the stories etched on them are the living depiction of Buddhist life philosophy and Jotaka tales. This sculptural art is so subtle and emotional that even today the viewer gets lost in it. On these Tiranas, events of Buddha's life, stories of his previous births, and his teachings are depicted in such a way as if the stones themselves are speaking. There is no idol or statue inside the stupa, because in the early Buddhist era, idol worship of Buddha did not happen. Here Buddha is depicted through his symbols, like the Dharma chakra, footprints, or Bodhi tree. This is a symbol of a different level of spirituality, where symbols themselves become the medium of emotions. The parikrama path made around the stupa gives the feel of that meditation which Buddhist seekers have been doing for thousands of years. Sanchi is not limited only to one stupa. Here there are many small stupas, temples, monasteries, and Ashoka pillars. The inscriptions in Brahmi script on the Ashoka pillar depict Emperor Ashoka's policy of Dharma and his compassion towards his people. This pillar is not only an architectural miracle, but the declaration of that ideology which spread the message of nonviolence and ethics throughout the Indian subcontinent. A mystery that makes Sanchi special is the precision of its architecture and the purpose of its construction. This place was a center for study, meditation, and education for Buddhist monks. The calm atmosphere here, the greenery spread all around, and the subtlety of the art together create such an environment that touches the soul from within. The remnants found in the excavation here by archaeologists tell that life remained dynamic here for many centuries. Greek Sheikh and Kushan influences are also visible in the sculptural art here, due to which it becomes clear that Sanchi was a center of international cultural exchange not only of India. It became such a place where the arts of East and West merged together, and through Buddhist culture, a new identity was formed. Sanchi was included in the UNESCO World Heritage List in 1989, and even today it remains a center of attraction for travelers, historians, and seekers of spirituality from all over the world. Sanchi is not just a historical heritage. This is that pillar standing in the test of time which reminds that values like peace, meditation, and compassion never get destroyed. These philosophies etched on stone are as relevant today as they were 2,000 years ago, and perhaps even more necessary in today's hectic world. Number 3. Chanchan, the saga of a sea civilization hidden in walls of mud. Located in the dry desert area of northern Peru, Chanchan is such a city which humans molded from mud. But in its walls is hidden the story of the sea, remaining the capital of the Chima Empire. This city emerged as the largest mud city of South America from the 9th century to the 15th century. This was no ordinary settlement. Its walls, streets, temples, and palaces all were made from a special mud called adobe, and the engravings done on them are filled with symbols of sea, fish, waves, and birds. This proves that the life of the Chima civilization was deeply connected with water, and the sea was not just a resource for them, but a divine entity. Chanchan was spread over about 20 square kilometers, and within it, along with 9 massive imperial complexes, there were markets, reservoirs, granaries, and public ceremony sites. This city was planned in such a way that every complex worked like an autonomous unit, which was surrounded on all sides by high walls. The pictures etched on these walls are so vivid and detailed that it seems as if the mud itself is speaking. In them, besides sea life, there are also pictures of those gods whom the Chima people considered protectors of the sea. Astonishing thing is that there was no fort or military fortification in Chanchan. This means that this civilization believed in peace more than war. The social system of Chan was stratified, where separate complexes for the ruling class, temples for religious priests, and outer settlements for the common public were made. But the thing that is most mysterious is that how was the protection of such a grand city done without any military wall or military system? Was its geographical position itself its biggest security? The water supply system of Chanchan was also astonishing. Despite being in a desert area, the Chima people had made such water canals that brought water from distant rivers to the city. Special slopes and turns were determined in these canals to maintain the balance of water. This shows that the Chima civilization was extremely advanced not only in architecture, but also in hydrology. Rainwater was also stored in the artificial reservoirs made by them, due to which life continued even in drought. But the story of Chan Chan is as mysterious as it is grand. In the 15th century, the Incas attacked this city and merged it into their empire. A few decades after this, the Spaniards took control of the entire area and turned Chan Chan into a desolate heritage. Slowly, the sand covered it, and its stories merged into the abyss of time. In 1986, UNESCO declared Chan Chan a World Heritage, but the existence of this site is still under threat. Natural rains, illegal excavations, and urban expansion are big challenges for its preservation. Today, whoever traveler comes here feels not just architecture in these mud walls, but the soul of a lost civilization. How a city of mud, which was made not by sword, but by worship of the sea, remained standing for centuries and then quietly dissolved in the sand of time. This is such a heritage that tells us that no city is made only from its walls, but it has a soul. And when that soul gets hurt, then not just bricks fall. Civilizations get destroyed. But even after that destruction, if some Buddha statue remains embedded in the roots, then it tells that hope, peace, and rebirth can never die. Uttaya even today is alive, in silence, in soil, and in memories. Number 6. Teotihuacan, the city of gods that itself became a mystery. Spread about 40 kilometers north of Mexico City, is an ancient city whose roads, temples, and pyramids even today stand just as they stood thousands of years ago. This is Teotihuacan, which is called the City of Gods. But the astonishing thing is that even today we do not know who settled this city, why settled it, and finally, why this city suddenly became desolate. This city flourished from 100 BCE to 700 CE and was the largest urban center of its time. So large that its population is estimated to be more than Tlac. The most famous part of Teotihuacan is the Pyramid of the Sun, which is counted among the world's largest pyramids. Seeing it, it seems as if stairs have been made to connect the earth and the sky. This pyramid is completely aligned with astronomical events. On the summer solstice, when the sun comes exactly overhead, its stairs shine without any shadow. Due to this, it becomes clear that the people who made it were extremely proficient in astronomy. In front of it is the Pyramid of the Moon, which is somewhat smaller, but was extremely important from the religious perspective. Connecting both these pyramids is a straight and massive road, which is called the Avenue of the Dead. This road is so long and straight that seeing it, the viewer feels as if it goes up to the sky. On both its sides are grand palaces, assembly halls, and residential areas. Due to this, it becomes clear that this was not just a religious site, but a well-planned city. But the mysteries do not end here. From the paintings, engravings, and remnants found in this city, it is also known that here worship of fire, human sacrifice, and astronomical rituals had deep importance. In many paintings, there are strange figures of gods, some human-like, some serpent-faced, which are often compared to alien-like figures. Is this a hint of some such mysterious knowledge that was ahead of modern science? In 2018, discoveries made with LiDAR technology revealed that under the entire city is a grand underground tunnel system, especially under the Quetzalcoatl Temple. A chemical-filled pool and multi-layered caves were found whose construction purpose has not been understood even today. Was this for some religious ritual or connected to some energy center? This is still a subject of research. According to historians, this city was not suddenly, but in a planned manner, evacuated. Neither evidence of any war is found, nor of any epidemic. Then why did the people leave? Was there some religious prophecy? Were there astronomical reasons? Or internal rebellion? Teotihuacan, even today, is not just an archaeological site, but an open book most of whose pages are missing. Whenever anyone stands there, he feels that he is not standing between bricks, stones, and stairs, but in the echoes of a forgotten civilization. This city now is protected by UNESCO, but its excavation and exploration is still incomplete. In the silence of the jungle, even today some people say that at night the sound of conch comes from there, as if some god is still demanding sacrifice. This city even today is alive, in its stone pyramids, in its incomplete scripts, and in that story which comes alive again with every traveler's steps. Calakmul is not just an ancient city, it is a warning of that power which is beyond time, which sleeps in jungles but never dies. Number 7. Ayutthaya. The legacy of an empire hidden in water, war, and silence, remaining the pride and prosperity of the Siamese Empire. Ayutthaya today is not just ruins, but a warning that no matter how prosperous any city may be, time and war can shake its roots. This ancient city was established in 1351 and for 4 centuries was counted among the most influential and powerful capitals of Southeast Asia, surrounded by 3 massive rivers, Chao Phraya, Lopburi, and Pasak. This city was settled on an artificial island strategically, due to which it became the center of trade, culture, and military power. But its story is as glorious as its downfall is mysterious and poignant. The architecture of Ayutthaya was the most refined and unique of its time. This city presented a wonderful mixture of Khmer and Thai styles. Pyramid-shaped spires built in massive courtyards, Buddha statues covered with gold, stupas filled with craftsmanship were symbols of the city's religious faith and cultural dignity. The temples here, especially Wat Phra, Si Sanfit, Wat Chawathanaram, and Wat Mahatha, are living proof of the construction skill of that era. On the walls of these temples, stories of gods and goddesses, victories of kings, and scenes of religious rituals, even today, appear like some visual tale. But Ayutthaya was not only a religious and cultural city, it was also a center of attraction for traders of Asia, Europe, and Arab countries. From here, rice, elephants, ivory, silk, porcelain, and spices were exported to the corners of the world. European travelers called it the Venice of the East, because its canals, bridges, and waterways filled the city with life. These very waterways were the source of prosperity on one hand. Then on the other hand, these same paths later became the cause of its destruction. In 1767, the Burmese army suddenly attacked Ayutthaya. This cruel invasion that lasted for months burned the city to ashes. Temples were looted. Heads of Buddha statues were cut off. Royal palaces and libraries were demolished. One of the most mysterious stories of Ayutthaya is the sudden disappearance of the royal family's treasure. Even today, it is believed that these treasures were hidden in tunnels under the temples. But they have not been found even now, especially in Wat Mahatha Temple. A Buddha's head, which is stuck in tree roots, has become the most mysterious symbol of Ayutthaya's downfall and nature's revival. Today, Ayutthaya is included in UNESCO's World Heritage Sites, and every stone of it narrates a saga of glory, of faith, and of destruction. In its broken bricks, half-statues, and silent canals, even today, the breaths of time echo. For travelers, this place has become not just history, but a center of meditation and contemplation. Everyone, when stands there, feels as if he has entered within some era, where royal voices, echo of war, and silent prayers flow together. Ayutthaya teaches us that no city is made only from its walls, but it has a soul. And when that soul gets hurt, then not just bricks fall, civilizations get destroyed. But even after that destruction, if some Buddha statue remains embedded in the roots, then it tells that hope, peace, and rebirth can never die. Ayutthaya, even today, is alive, in silence, in soil, and in memories. Number 8. Temple of Hatshepsut. The unparalleled legacy of a queen hidden in the silence of sand. Suddenly appearing in the foothills of a massive rock in the dry valleys of Egypt is such a scene which is neither completely a temple nor completely a palace. This is the Temple of Hatshepsut, which for centuries has astonished the world with its vastness, balance, and mysterious peace. This temple is not an ordinary monument, but the symbol etched in stone of the power, vision, and spirituality of Egypt's most influential female ruler, Queen Hatshepsut. When in the entire Egypt women were seen only in the role of goddesses or queens, then Hatshepsut declared herself pharaoh and took the reins of such an empire which was considered a bastion of men. This temple is located in Deir el-Bahri, on the western bank of the Nile River, and it was built in the 15th century BCE. 3 massive terraces, one above the other, connected through straight stairs. This structure is completely different from the traditional Egyptian architecture of that time. It seems as if this temple itself has emerged from the rocks. It's a perfect balance of natural and man-made beauty. On every wall of the temple, the pictures etched depict Queen Hatshepsut's rule, religious rituals, and most especially the journey to Puntland. This trading journey is the only such depicted tale in Egypt's history. in which the journey to foreign land is shown in detail. From where Egypt got incense, ebony, monkeys, and precious metals. On the walls of the temple, Hatshepsut is shown in men's attire. Pharaoh's crown on the head, royal scepter in hand, and traditional beard on the face. This was a symbol of her authority and acceptance of rule, due to which she wanted to prove that power is determined not on the basis of gender, but on the basis of capability and destiny. Although her rule remained full of prosperity and construction works, yet after her death, attempts were made systematically to erase her name in pictures. Perhaps by her successors who did not want the memory of a female pharaoh to remain alive for coming generations. The most mysterious thing of the temple is its geographical position. This site is located directly in the direction of sunrise, and it is believed that on specific days, the sun's first rays enter straight into the central chamber of the temple. This was not only architectural skill, but the wonderful confluence of astronomy and spirituality. Inside the temple, there was a special chamber for the queen, where she performed the ritual of divine union with the sun god Amun-Ra. This was not her spiritual upliftment, but an attempt to connect royal power with divinity. But time slowly covered this temple in sand and silence. For centuries, this site remained as ruins, till modern archaeologists did not start removing its layers. Today, this temple is not only the symbol of Egypt's feminine power, but it seems like a mysterious gate that connects life, death, and rebirth. Whoever climbs its stairs does not move only towards architecture. He moves towards the upliftment of a soul. The Temple of Hatshepsut tells that history is not made only by kings, but queens can also make it, and sometimes even if their voice is erased. The stones echo their story silently for thousands of years. This temple is the testimony of that woman who challenged destiny and made herself timeless. Number 9. Valley of the Kings. The search for immortality in the shadows of stones. Settled between sand-covered hills in Egypt's western valley is such a place where silence speaks and stones narrate stories of life beyond death. This is the Valley of the Kings, where Egypt's greatest pharaohs were buried in search of immortality after their death. This place is no palace, temple, or fort, but a quiet depth, where emperors challenging time and death are sleeping. Here there are no grand gates, nor golden roofs, but its rock-carved tombs are built on the foundation of that faith that death is not the end, but the beginning of a journey. More than 60 royal tombs have been discovered in the Valley of the Kings, each of which is a story of a life, a rule, a soul's flight. These tombs are from the 18th to the 20th dynasty, some of which are like simple tunnels, and some are spread in the form of massive chambers, in which colorful pictures and walls of religious texts bear witness to that spiritual perspective which was the essence of ancient Egypt's life. In these pictures, the deceased king is shown entering the assembly of gods, participating in the test of justice, and moving towards rebirth. The most famous is the tomb of Tutankhamun, which was discovered by Howard Carter in 1922, and whose walls, artifacts, and especially the golden mask even today, mesmerize people. The selection of this valley was done deliberately. The shape of its mountains is pyramid-like, and its geographical position is in the direction of sunset, according to Egyptian belief. After death, the soul goes towards the west, where it undertakes the journey of rebirth with the sun god. Therefore, the king's soul was buried in this valley to connect with the sun. From the perspective of security, no external temples were built in this area. Everything was underground, so that the tombs remained safe from thieves. But still, history has witnessed that no one could stop the looting of these tombs. Most tombs lost their original treasures. Only Tutankhamun's tomb was found almost completely intact. The construction of the tombs reflects a deep astronomical understanding. The constellations, Milky Way, and Path of the Sun depicted on the walls show that ancient Egyptians were proficient not only in religion, but also in astronomy. In these pictures, the path of the soul, gates of rebirth, and the roles of gods like Osiris, Anubis, Horus are depicted in detail. This was not just art, but an astronomical map for the king's soul that led him towards immortality. Today, the Valley of the Kings is one of Egypt's most mysterious and prestigious archaeological sites. This place may have awakened due to tourism, but even today, a silence spread on its walls is filled with the breaths of the past. When any traveler steps here, he does not feel only a city of stones, but the struggle of souls, such a struggle where the search for life beyond life was done. The Valley of the Kings teaches us that no matter how great a human may be, his body merges into the soil. But his aspiration, his faith, and his connection with the soul take him beyond time. And this is the reason that even thousands of years later, when we see these tombs, we do not hear only history, but an immortal call coming from beyond death. Number 10. Kagar Kim, Europe's oldest silence. Located between the open fields of Malta amid the cold winds of the sea and the rustle of rocks as such, a site that challenges modernity with its massive stones. Kagar Kim is an ancient megalithic temple which is considered one of the oldest constructions in Europe's history. This is no ordinary temple, but a mysterious scripture made from stones which was crafted 5,000 years ago, at that time when the birth of pyramids had not even happened in Egypt. Today, when we see these massive stones, the question arises: in such an old era without any modern tools, who brought these pillars? Who erected them? And the biggest question, why? The literal meaning of Kagar Kim is standing stones, and this name is completely justified here. The tallest stone is about 7 meters long, and its weight is several tons. Bringing such stones to one place and erecting them in a planned architecture is proof not only of labor, but of extremely advanced calculation, organization, and spiritual vision. The entire complex is divided into oval and circular chambers, which open towards a central altar and open sky. It is believed that this structure was not only for religious rituals, but also played the role of an astronomical observatory. The special thing is that one main gate of Kagar Kim is made in such a way that during the summer season, when the sun is at a specific position, its rays enter straight into the altar made inside the temple. This alignment is so precise that it cannot be coincidence. This is a clear indication that the creators here had deep understanding of astronomy, meteorology, and the cyclical nature of time. The idols found inside the temple, especially the Fat Lady idols, point towards a mother goddess worship cult where fertility, nature, and feminine power were considered supreme. In the excavation done on the stones of Kagar Kim, strange pits, round holes, and deep grooves were found, about whose purpose even today there is no confirmed information. Were they astronomical, measuring instruments? Were they mediums for energy transmission? Or were they used for ritual sacrifices? There is no definite answer to these questions. But what is definite is that the walls of this temple even today are full of energy. Some travelers believe that standing there, vibration in the body and a strange pressure in the head is felt, as if some invisible power is still active there. Malta's climate and sea winds have weathered this temple from sun and rain for centuries, but still, its soul remained. In the 18th century, it was rediscovered, and today it is included in UNESCO World Heritage Sites. But even now, more information about the people who constructed it is not there. Neither their name, nor their language, nor their customs. Kagar Kim teaches us that civilization is not made only from technology. It originates from philosophy, collective labor, and connection with the universe. This temple is not just a structure of stones, but the echo of that era, where humans and nature breathed in the same rhythm. It reminds us that the oldest things are often the most silent. But when they speak, then the silence of thousands of years echoes together. So these were those cities that even today are alive. In their stones, in their wounds, and in their incomplete stories. Each of whose every door is a new question, and every ruin is a new tale. Some challenged science, some religion, and some even today demand answers to those mysteries, whose solution perhaps may never be found. But one thing is certain, these lost cities even today call us. In their silence, in their air, and in their mysterious paths, which have no end. Have you ever felt the echo of such a place? Tell us in the comments and stay connected to set out on such mysterious journeys, because what is visible is not always the truth, and what is truth often does not appear. If you are watching this video, please subscribe our channel Epoch Docs.